interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
We begin with a story of sex slaves, underage girls, a billionaire, murder, a prince, and at least one former U.S. president.
I was born into this world of sex trafficking. It's the only life I've ever known.
Now you might be saying, Dr. Phil, are you buying all of this?
One of my first memories was thinking that it was normal for men to be fondling babies. I thought guys held babies on their laps like that because it kept them from falling off.
Well, Kendall claims that she was purchased by wealthy clients to do anything they pleased.
I was given to the man who owns me by my birth parents, and I was forced to have sex with clients.
By a very large, very dangerous organization.
My whole life I traveled all over the world and would go to some of the biggest events to meet clients.
On the outside, her clients were pillars of their communities.
They were in law enforcement, doctors, psychiatrists, judges, politicians, even people who owned sports teams. They were all extremely rich and prominent members of society. I attended many parties for people who had just got elected into office.
But behind closed doors, she says they were sinister and evil human beings.
Sometimes they would bring little boys into the room and they would make me have sex with them. Many of the boys were as young as 5, even allowed to smother me with a pillow or plastic bag while having sex with me.
Now, sometimes she was used as arm candy, others for very sick games.
Some clients own their own island or a big piece of land.
Former President Bill Clinton, who reportedly took multiple trips to Epstein's private island. You see it here. It's called Little St. James.
And they would buy us just to hunt us.
Now, according to testimony in the lawsuit, at least one woman on that compound was there unwillingly. She is referred to as Jane Doe 102. She was forced to live as one of Epstein's underage sex slaves for years and was forced to have sex with politicians, businessmen, royalty, people working in academics, etc.
This Epstein is just an absolute disgusting pig. I mean, to be messing around with underage girls, it's just unbelievable.
According to the UK Daily Mail, the lawsuit claims that Clinton was friends with an unnamed woman who kept images of naked underage children on her computer, helped to recruit underage children for Epstein, and photographed underage females in sexually explicit poses. Now, while Clinton cut off ties with Epstein, this woman's abuses apparently did not end their relationship, as she was reportedly one of the 400 guests at Chelsea Clinton's 2010 wedding.
It's amazing that this happened and came to light, and I don't think Bill Clinton would ever want to be involved with an underage girl, but the fact that it's happening in front of his eyes and that the Secret Service guys didn't do something about it is shocking.
Very sick games.
He would make me be a dog, made me eat feces. I was kept in a cage. Sometimes he would electrocute me as punishment.
You said you could tell the difference between girls that were born into it, according to him, versus those that were kidnapped.
The girls that weren't born into it, they had a harder time. They were always kept tied up or in cages, and they cried a lot.
Now, you weren't allowed to use the word trafficked, correct? Why is that?
I was made for that, and trafficking is when girls who aren't made for that get kidnapped or sold into it.
Did he tell you how you came to be with him?
My parents had me for him.
That they actually had you on purpose for him?
Yeah.
Do you remember how old you were when you first had sex?
I was used to it by the time I was 2.
I 100% believe. I 100% believe that you have been exploited. I 100% believe that you have been hurt, that you have been beaten, that you have been abused.
What has been the biggest scandal in the UK since World War II has now come to the U.S., and it may involve former President Bill Clinton. The story surrounds this man, billionaire Jeffrey Epstein, who served time in 2008 for soliciting prostitution. That charge came as part of a plea deal. It all began in 2005 when Epstein was investigated after a woman reported that he paid her 14-year-old daughter $300 for sex. Since that initial claim, there have been more than 40 women who have come forward with claims that Epstein is a sexual predator and that he not only abused them, but shared them with famous and powerful friends. But this story is much bigger than just former President Clinton. Prince Andrew, the Duke of York, is being connected to this scandal as well. In 2001, Virginia Roberts, a 17-year-old who now claims to have been held as Epstein's sex slave, was introduced to Prince Andrew while staying at a London home. Ms. Roberts claims that she was paid £10,000 as a reward for having sex with Prince Andrew by Epstein.
Ladies and gentlemen, free and independent.
You're listening to Controversy Radio with your hosts, Jesse and Celicia.
There's gonna be some stuff you're gonna see that's gonna make it hard to smile in the future. But through whatever you see, through all the rain and the pain, just keep your head up.